Hi, this is Zach Meir with the weekend edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Sunday, the 22nd of December. Starting up with the FTSE 100, which hasn't been very festive in recent days, especially Thursday, Friday, but at least on Friday we notionally bounced back within that rising trend channel in place since the autumn of last year, so call that 80-70. The line there above that, we've got a chance of heading back towards that rising 200-day line at around 81.80. The positive there is that it's still rising quite sharply, so the market could dig itself out of the hole that it's in after retesting November support there near the 8,000 level. In fact, the low on Friday, 8,002. RSI at 34, so still room for one more down day, or at least a testing of support towards 8,000, even if the market then bounces back after that. But at least we are back in the rising trend channel and have some transparency in terms of where the market could head next. Moving on to the DAX, which delivered a rather painful looking top over the course of the week with a bull trap island top that we had, so gapping up at the beginning of the month and then gapping down twice last week, but at least there was a decent end to the session on Friday, at least in terms of bouncing above the rising 50-day line and closing near the high of the day. RSI just below neutral 50, so that is a positive, and that does, or at least gives the implication that we are bouncing off the old October resistance there, 19,600. Above that, got a chance of filling the gaps up towards 20,200 over the course of the rest of 2024. Moving on to the Dow, which managed to have very sickly run of down days, but at least it managed to, after all that those losses from 45,000 down to nearly 42,000, we managed to close the week on a key reversal to the upside. So basically filling that gap at the floor of the November gap there around 42,200 and closing above Thursday's high. It also means that there's a chance of this market getting back into that uptrend or that rising trend channel from August, 43,200. But a bit of work to do there. Initially, the resistance will come in at the 50-day line, 43,400. The market bounced off RSI 30, the oversold level, as we were hoping and hinting earlier in the week, and that obviously has come in as a decent technical signal. Moving on to Bitcoin, which also had its own rug pull during the week, and here you can see that we managed to basically test the 50-day line there at 92,600. Above that, and we've actually bounced quite well, but not quite on the uptrend line, the broken uptrend line there we had at 97,000, but very, very close indeed. So probably one could say that it was just a one-day wonder below that rising trend line, and above 97,000 we're possibly on our way back for a retest of the best levels, the record levels towards 108,000 for the next over the next couple of weeks or so. Early and end of day close back below that 50-day line, currently 92,600, really giving us a risk of having to test 85,300, which was the last or the earliest support there back in November. RSI at 48, so some work to be done to get it back above the neutral 50 level and get the uptrend back on track. Moving on to gold, which is obviously the old store of value, and here managed to bounce off the floor of that rising trend channel from February, which is what we wanted it to do, and actually basically the 2600 level, that was a level that we were looking for. The floor of the channel there near 2625, so not a bad rebound there for this market. All that's missing now is perhaps an end of day close back above the last gap there, 2650, to get us back on track for the big bull run that we've been in, and 2800. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with the stock which was not familiar with, Bay Capital, which is quite an achievement given that I look at almost everything every day. But here we've got a broadening triangle base, we've got a rising 50-day line as well, and at least while we're above the October gap there at 4.6 pence, looking for the shares to hit as high as 8 pence by the end of next month. I believe there'll be some results coming out from the company over the next few days. Moving on to Beowulf Mining, which after a long time we had a decent bounce at the end of the week, Here you can see we bounced off the floor of that falling trend channel rather, the 12 pence level, and above that looking for 18 or 19 pence at the top of the channel, accompanied by bullish divergence, a low there on Thursday last week, but higher RSI trace, so maybe one or two people nibbling into the stock, or nibbling at the stock rather. Moving on to Creo Medical, which has also done itself proud in the sense that we're back above the 50-day line there for the first time since September. The 50-day line there at 18 pence. Above that, we're looking for the top of the channel there, 26 pence by the end of next month or even sooner. Bit of stake building in the air with Genip or Genip, and here you can see that we've got this falling trend channel there. The shares have managed to bounce off the back of the stake building, which I think was earlier in the month, up towards the top of that falling trend channel at 34 pence. Above 34 pence, and we're looking for, above the 200-day line, we're looking for a fresh leg to the upside, perhaps the upper parallel of the triangle there, as high as 50 pence by the end of next month. We've got a rising 50-day line, and feeling confident about this while we're above that rising 50-day line and recent support near 25 pence. On to Guild, and here it's been a horrible ride over the over the most of 2024, but maybe there's a little bit of hope now as we go into 2025. Great hammer candle on Wednesday, a great end of day close above the 50-day line on Friday at 0.037, and the longer we stay above that 50-day line, the greater the chance of move to 0.06 by the end of next month. Another stock which I'd never heard of, which is quite an achievement, Menhaden, and here you can see the vertical move on Friday. Decent news from the company there. The share's basically in a rising trend channel from back in 2015 when we were all young, and best case here is up to £2, the upper parallel of that rising 9-year trend channel, as high as £2 maybe by the end of February, giving the shares a bit of time and wiggle room on that time frame. This stage only well below the old support there, or old resistance rather, there at around the £1.30 to 35 pence level, really delaying the upside scenario. Moving on to Mast, which has been making nice noises both fundamentally and technical in the recent past. A rising trend channel base here from June. It's obviously taken a long time to progress, but unfilled gap to the upside on Thursday, and looking for the shares to hit 0.24 by the end of next month, or maybe if we're lucky, it should be actually by the end of this month. Rising 50-day line as well, and unfilled gap to the upside, starting this rally back in November. At this stage, only well below the 50-day line at 0.15, delaying the upside scenario. One of the best stocks of the year, one of the best calls here of the year, has been Mobile Streams. Secret has been not to raise any money for a while, and that's done the trick. You can see a rising trend channel there. Top of the channel there, heading for 0.6 pence, looking for that by the end of next month, while we're above the old resistance there, around 0.36 from back in October, and hopefully these shares will deliver the kind of leg higher that we had in September for December, January. Moving on to stock which is looking intriguing at the moment as well from a fundamental and a technical point of view. Looks like Pipehawk has turned around, and what it managed to do on Friday was to close above the floor of that gap there at 2.5 pence. The longer we stay above our first target there at 2.3 pence, the greater the chance of a move to 4 pence by the end of next month. So really looking quite decent there. Quadrise is also looking decent. It's re-rated itself since last month's big news, and you can see here heading for 6.5 pence, hopefully by the end of next month or even sooner, especially while we're above the recent resistance, broken resistance from November at 4.5 pence, above 4.5, looking for 6.5 on Quadrise. On to one of the big turnaround situations of the recent past, which has been Raspberry Pi, which after rather dithering in the wake of its IPO, went down to around £3.20, has shot higher. Stake building, I think the reason there, we've blown out the top of that rising trend channel there at £4.60, and above the Thursday resistance at £5.22, looking for a fresh leg to the upside. That could be and should be as high as the line I'm about to draw now, which is basically the upper parallel of the rising trend channel, so towards the £6.50 zone by the end of next month. Shares also going to a golden cross there, and the run up to a golden cross is typically the strongest part in the cycle, but imagine one or two people kicking themselves for missing out on buying the dip in November, December, and missing the breakout through the £4 level, which was basically the starting gun of the latest rally. On to Tower, and here we can see that not quite as dramatic as Raspberry Pi, but a nice bull flag above the 50-day line there at 0.03, and we're looking for the top of that broadening triangle from September, size 0.047 by the end of next month. Nice key reversal to the upside on Friday, breaking the previous day's low and then breaking the previous day's high. Look, I'm covering this stock, the next one with trepidation, but I suppose every dog has its day, and hopefully Vela's will come very soon. Rising trend channel base here, 0.012 pence is the top of that rising trend channel from July, and we're looking for that while we remain above the 50-day line and the floor of the channel at 0.06. So let's see if that delivers. Finishing off with Zenith, which had its $9.7 million award, and market giving the shares a decent rise on Friday, but perhaps we should be expecting more. Here we've got first target was hit, 2.3 pence. Above that, looking for as high as 4 pence by the end of next month, which would basically take the shares back to where they were back in October 23. At this stage, only back below resistance on the way down around 1.9 pence, really delaying the upside scenario. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.